I know Dame Sally's going to leave us, but thank you very much indeed. Hugely inspiring, and as she goes, it's clear that I've always admired people who go into civil service, because it seems that choosing your politicians is about as difficult as choosing your own family. Really, really difficult. But the fantastically inspiring. We've had a history of inviting non-vets to come and speak to our fellowship. But I think there'd be no doubt that that was hugely relevant to our sphere and quite concerning, but also stimulating and thought-provoking. But how much more concerning would it have been if you were sat there and felt that you weren't in a position to do anything about it at all? We are in a position, thankfully, to do something about it. So really great to hear from Sally. So it's my job to sort of round off the day, and what a great day it's been, and I'm going to start with some thanks. Most importantly, I'm been stood here today, and I've done a little bit today, but I do very little actually. A lot of the work is done by others, and most importantly the board. I just want to thank the Fellowship Board for all the incredible hard work they put in. The panels that assess the applications, it's a huge amount of work. It comes to the board for final say on one or two of them, but they put in vast amounts of work, and I'd like to thank all of those that sit on those credential panels. I'd like to pick out a couple of board members, Anna Meredith, who chairs the Science Advisory Panel. As some of you will know who were in that group, the Science Advisory Panel's dealing with some really thorny issues, and Anna's panel's incredibly busy, and I know you put in a huge amount of time and effort, so thank you for that. And Emma Milne, who's our events officer and has been putting in a lot of effort recently to try and get various things off the ground. It's really hard work, I know, trying to galvanise people, because, and I'll come to this a bit later, because the fellowship is you guys. It's people who are busy and impressive and doing great things, and you're all time poor, so it's really hard work. But thank you, Emma, Anna, and the rest of the board. Thank you very much indeed. Once again, I'd also like to thank the RCVS team for putting together today. A huge amount of effort goes into these events, and as you see, they run incredibly slickly, but they only run slickly because of that effort and work and attention to detail that goes in running up to these events. But I'd also like to thank the support we have in the college, Ang Harrod, and the Advancement of the Professions Department in general, but most in particular you, Emmy May, for the vast amount of work you put in on our behalf. We couldn't do it without you. Thank you. I'm going to highlight the RCVS Honours and Awards. You've got until Friday, December the 15th to put in your nominations. I'm sure that all of you know some really impressive people working within our professions, and I'd very much like you to put the effort in that last 2 weeks, if you could, and add to the nominations. All the awards are outlined there. We've added a few. There are some for inspiration, some for impact, some for compassion. There's some great people need recognition, and it takes nominations to get them recognised. So please do something of that. Now, we've had a wonderful day. We've celebrated the new fellows. I'm delighted to see all of you here. It's so exciting to welcome you to the fellowship. We need more, because we need to represent the huge breadth of our professions, and it's all about people. We've had inspiration from the Fellows of the Future competition members. It's wonderful to see people who haven't even graduated yet who want to contribute so much to veterinary science and thought. So thank you very much. But as importantly, thank you so much to all the hard work that the judges put in judging that competition. With 38 entries, there was a vast amount of time and effort and thought that had to go into distilling it down to the final 3, and then choosing between them, near impossible today. But thank you very much, guys, and well done. We've had contemplation and discussion at the breakout groups, and I think we all really enjoy being asked our opinion, and we're not afraid of giving it. And I think we'd like more of that at these days very often, because we always seem to run out of time on those occasions. But it's hugely thought-provoking, and thank you for your input to those two groups. And I hope, amongst what I've got to say and from what you've heard today, you will have motivation as well, because it is all about people. So as I said earlier today, the job to be done by our professions is to prevent humans and animals suffering the harms of animal disease. And we do that through the underpinning of science, and we're quite good, relatively good, at celebrating our scientists internally, but I actually don't think we're really very good at all about celebrating our scientists externally. I think we have a huge amount of really impressive things going on within our profession, and a few of us know quite a lot about them. But how much does the general public know about the vast amount of work that our profession's doing, effectively with Sally's work and everything you can see on their behalf? And those scientists rely on people to translate their science, and applied scientists to put it into place, and then practitioners, be it specialists or generalists, and we need academics as well to bring our new practitioners and scientists through. But none of that happens without trust. Trust running through the middle of everything. We need to trust the scientists, we need to trust those that translate it, and the public and those that we engage with need to trust us to do the job. And a little bit more of that later. Everybody I meet in these professions, everybody I meet, does it with dedication, care, and compassion. I've yet to meet somebody, a vet or a nurse, who isn't motivated to do the job well and aligned with their values, but not necessarily for the greatest profit. It's a shame if what we do is reduced to an efficiency financial exercise. This and this care nothing for anybody. It's all about people. So bringing the picture together is what I think is important in the fellowship. And as I said to you, we've got scientists, we've got academics, we've got specialists. But I think we're missing generalists. I'm hugely proud to be stood here as a general practitioner, as chair of the fellowship board. But I'm not stood here because I'm a good general practitioner. I may be, I don't know. But I'm not stood here because of that. I'm stood here for meritorious contributions to the profession, which I was lucky enough to put in 7 years ago when I was RCVS president. So to a degree, you've got a general practitioner as chair of the fellowship board by accident. I could have been anybody to do what I did, but I did it as a general practitioner. I think our role in working out how we can get those expert generalists that we all will have met, in fact, many of us will have been inspired by as school children or students, we can get them onto the fellowship. And I'm delighted that the college has got a line of work to try and increase the career progression for general practitioners and generalists, and to recognise them. I personally think that to have a specialist in general practice is an oxymoron. I think we're either specialists or generalists, and we need both. We need both. But I can explain to a school class of primary school children what a specialist is. What you do is incredibly complex, but explaining to people how you might specialise in eyes or the nervous system or internal medicine is not necessarily so complex. And we've done a really good job of distilling what is special about specialists, of finding out that elixir of what it is. But generalists are much, much more difficult. We mould to our environment. We're essentially veterinary Swiss Army knives. We see shiny, sparkly things that we might be able to help our clients with, and we go and find them, and we collect them, and we learn about them, and we add them to our tools in our toolbox. And I might not have a very good screwdriver or a very good saw, but I've got both, and a whole load of other tools besides. And so trying to work out what I am as a specialist is like deconstructing a cake. I mean, Neil over there, for instance, might be a very fine Dundee cake. I suspect I'm a bit of a fruit cake. But we've also got lemon drizzle cakes, Victoria sponges, chocolate cakes. We've got generalists in all spheres, all over the world, all over this country, doing fantastic jobs, and there must be commonality between them. But trying to work out their individual ingredients, their cooking times, what occasions they've been cooked for, etc., 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 is so much more complex. And so far, I don't think we've done a very good job of it. So we meet students day in, day out, and I'm told that as many as 80% of some classes see themselves as being specialists, and it's hardly surprising. They're often taught by specialists in specialist environments. It's easy for them to understand what that means in terms of a career progression. But seeing that career progression within general practice, much more difficult. And I do hope that we will, the college, the fellowship, all of us rise to the challenge of working out what it really is to make those wonderful generalists that we all need to work with, so that the specialists, the generalists, the scientists, the academics can all work together to deliver for the public. So what is the fellowship? Now the fellowship, as I said, is about you. In the programme, you'll see that the fellowship's seen as a resource. Well, it's great if we can draw on that resource, and we need to somehow fine-tune that. And as I said, with lots of people who have got fantastic resource in terms of knowledge and skills, but very little time, that's incredibly difficult. So we need people to stand up and step forward. It's about science, but the Science Advisory Panel has a huge amount of work on its plate, as you can see, and we have no real group horizon scanning, seeing the state of veterinary science, seeing where the gaps are. It would be lovely if that work could be done, but again, time poor. It's about leadership. You're all leaders by example. In the programme it says we demonstrate excellence, which is fantastic if people know that that's what we're doing as fellows. And we're thought leaders, as we did today, but I don't think we do nearly enough of that. I think together we can come together and really think about what society needs. The job to be done is not going to change, but the way we do it will. I also think we're guardians of this wonderful profession. We really, all of us care, whatever part we're playing in that wonderful jigsaw that is the veterinary professions. We all care about the reputation of the professions. It really hurts when there's an investigation about prices and there are accusations about profiteering, etc., etc. And it hurts me when I see the poor levels of retention within the profession. All that wonderful aspiration and hope and excitement that I saw in all the graduations I did 7 years ago when I was RCVS president, bubbles burst within 5 years. Shameful, shameful. It really is. And it hurts because we are guardians of that reputation, guardians of the trust that is held in the profession. It's all about people. So what I need is participation. I need people to step up and say, I want to be part of this fellowship. I want to do stuff. I want to be involved with the science, the service, and the trust that underlines it all. So if you're part of what might be considered a special interest group, say a pathologist or an orthopod or whatever, how about, for a very start, getting together a group of other pathologists or orthopods within the profession, within the fellowship, and then seeing how you can interact with your human counterparts in other areas. Where's the shared the shared knowledge, the shared professional standards, advancements, etc. I need your participation. So thank you so much for coming today. Please encourage those that haven't come to come in the future and take part. It's about you. That representation of the fellowship is so important. Wear your F with pride, wherever you F-ing are. Thank you very much indeed.